Okay, let's get started. So the first question is French or English? Is there any people here not speaking French? Can you raise your hand? Okay. All right. So if that's okay with everyone, I will make it in English. And if it's too fast, just tell me, and I'll go slowlier. But yeah, so I'm Xavier Delplanque. I'm a product manager at Evernote, and I take care of the mobile app, so the Android app, BlackBerry, and Windows Phone. And I thought about a recent project we did, the new redesign of the Android app, the V6, and it was a few weeks ago, and I thought every time I have this publish button, I have to press, and I know millions of users are going to get the update, and I'm very scared about, hey, did we miss anything? Like, is it going to crash? Is it going to be better? Is it going to be a very good update? And I think, I'm sure, a lot of people like me are in this case here in the room. And I wanted to share with you what we do at Evernote, just to make sure or make it more likely to be a success when you redesign the app. So yeah, I'm product manager. I've been working at Evernote for 3 years. In 3 years, we redesigned the app 3 times. So every year we have a new redesign. Every time I have the same anxiety of pushing this publish button and say, okay, it's going to work. And every time we have more people. So you start with hundreds of thousands of people. Now we have millions. And every time it's, hey, millions of users just getting the update. And you change everything. You change the flow. You change the design, the graphic design. So this is the first version of the app. So when I started 3 years ago, this was Evernote on Android. It evolved pretty quickly. The first project in 2012 was to make it easier to learn. So we redesigned the app, so every step, when you discover the app, is easy. And you discover what really matters for you. So this was the app in 2012. Same kind of home screen, and the list view and the visual design changed. And then step by step, 2014, we didn't change much, just visual design. And for the V6 we launched a few weeks ago, what we wanted an app to experiment. We have a lot of active users, a lot of users using the app, and we want to innovate, but we wanted a platform, and we wanted to make the Android app this platform to experiment new ideas. So basically what we wanted is this app to be scalable, and we want to be able to add or remove features easily in the app. So we wanted something modular. So the challenge, we have millions of users. So every time you miss one thing, you miss one obscure feature that nobody uses except those guys, or one specific flow you don't test, and then you have millions of crashes. You have a lot of people who are pissed off, and that's the worst thing that can happen. Is you launch the app, and then you have 1-star rating all the time. And the app, I mean, you spend so much time, like so many months, just redesigning the app, and it doesn't work. It's a bit like, I think my father is an architect, and it is a bit like you have this city with a million of users using every day the app, moving around, doing their things the way they want to do it, and then you change everything. Every flow, every road, you move it, and then you need to test everything. So it's very easy to break something. So every time you do a redesign, what you want to do? The first thing is make an impact. You want to spend months doing something, and at the end, it doesn't change anything. People are as engaged as before. They learn the app as quickly as before. You just did this for nothing. You don't want to break things, so yeah, bug crashes, easy to miss, and if you have any, you're going to have 1-star reviews. And the last one is make it better. And this is the tricky part. It's really hard to evaluate before you launch the app if it's going to work. And we use some innovation here to make sure when we launch a new design, it's going to be better than the previous one. So that's what I want to explain is how we did it for the last design. So the first thing we do is estimate the impact. Okay, so we have all those roads, highways, flows, user flow in the app that you want to change. But you don't know if you change it, if it's going to make a difference. If this flow is used by only a few people, it's not going to change anything. So for this, we use Google Analytics. And we have trackers in Google Analytics, so we know how people move in the app. We know how many active users use each of those features, and we can prioritize and change first what is not working very much and what people use the most. So this is, we have dozens of features, but those are the top. So we know if we change something here, and if there is something which is not super good here, we can make it better. And then what you want to look at is, it's hard to read, is the user flow, is how they do things. So you see, okay, they're creating a note in Evernote, probably a strong use case. You look at how they do it. What are the different steps? How do they start the feature? Do they create a new note from a note list, from inside a notebook? Do they create it from a shortcut? So you look at this path, and then you see what you can make faster. It's a productivity app, so how many steps you take to do something is really important. You cut one step, you make it a bit faster. So we look at that, and basically concentrate on those flows. Okay, so that's the first step, is first you plan it. You don't know anything. What you know and the data you have is how people use the app, how they move in the app. Then, the second step is measure the quality. Okay, so you went ahead, you did your design, you improved the app, and what you want to make sure is no crash, it's stable, it's fine, it's good, and it's better. And we use two things. The first thing is the beta testing, and we have 7,000 beta testers in the app. So every time we have an update, we give it to 7,000 users, and from here, you see, what do you see? I mean, you get user feedback, you get people complaining about this feature which is still not here, or this flow that could be improved. But something you can measure very easily is crash reports. So one thing we do, we launch a beta, we look at the crash reports, and we make sure it's not bigger, it's not increasing. And if it's increasing, then you fix it. You never launch it before it's stable, before you get less crashes than the previous version. Okay, so this is easy, but it doesn't work with everyone. Beta testers are only existing users. They use the app, they know the app. They don't test the sign-up flow, how you discover the app for the first time. They are no new users, and they know already the app. So you want to test with everyone. You want to test with existing users. So what we started using is the phase rollout, which means you can give the app, the new app, to 1% of the users. It's provided on the Google Play, and then you have new users and existing users. 1% is enough to find all the crashes, all the instabilities in your app. So you launch it, 1%, and you fix all your crashes. You make it super good, super fast. And yeah, we launched it at mid-June, and it ran for a few weeks before it was really stable and better in terms of crash than the previous version. And the last thing, so that's the first time we did it for an app, is comparing the performance. So we had the previous version of the app and the new version. And we wanted to make sure it's going to be better. And we have specific measure that we focus on. The first one is retention, is how many people discovering the app stick around. And the second one is engagement, is how much time do you spend in the app? It's very easy to measure. But when you redesign the app, you change everything. So you want the two apps to compete on the market. And we used the phase rollout again. So basically in mid-August, okay, the app is stable, and we increased the number of users to 10%. So now you have hundreds of thousands of users just using the app. And we measure the performance of this app compared to the one on the market. Hey, those 10%, are they more engaged? Do they learn the app faster? Do they stick around? And then we iterated every week, fixing things, make it better for the onboarding flow, make it better for the engagement, some of the features and some of the feedback. But yeah, 10% every one, and that's super efficient. September, we looked at the stats, everything was better, and then we decided to roll out to 100% of the users, and everybody got the update. And one more thing we started doing is split testing with Google Tag Manager. So here is for every feature you do, you make it a different version. So you have your 10% of people, and in this population, you have some getting one version of the feature, some another version of the feature, and they compete against each other. So this is the onboarding flow, is how you discover to create a new note in Evernote. Some version works better than the others. Some are easier to discover, and people are more focused. So you can test this, you can experiment this. And this is not someone saying, hey, it's a good or bad design. It's your user saying it's a good or bad design. So the results, we launched on the 4th September. And this is kind of the experiences. We make it scalable. We wanted something modular, something to experiment within. So we have this new navigation on the side that can scale easily, so we can add new features here. And we have this kind of expanding button, floating expanding button, so we can also add easily some new features. We cut one step, so creating a new node from here is faster than before. It's also more fun. I think the animation was very well received, and it makes the app a bit more attractive. We worked a lot on the onboarding and how we teach people what they can do in the app. And we have this new card system teaching you at the right time, hey, do you want to clip a web page? Do you want to create a new note? Do you want to create your to-do lists? And that was really effective. We had the learning curve of the app has accelerated, and people learn more about the app than before. And yes, we had this new tablet design with a floating button again. It's really tricky to make a very good experience on tablet on Android. You have this big action bar at the top. You have a lot of different workspace. But we made it better. People are more happy with the tablet. It's not perfect. We're still working on it, but it's a lot better than before. Yeah, so the result, we had this beautiful new design. And we got a lot of love. So the feature was, the new design was featured by Google at Google I/O, and they presented this new tablet layout, which is great. Editor choice, again, every time we did a redesign, we managed to be featured by Google. And this is a lot of new users. It's a lot of visibility for your app. So make it better, make it known by Google. And also on the Chromebook. So the app now can work on the Chromebook, and a lot of visibility from Google. And yeah, it's a lot of more new users. We managed to get and increase the number of new users coming in a lot for the past weeks, and we believe it's going to stay. We also managed to keep more of those users. It's very early to say, and that's why there is it seems that. You need weeks really before you know if people stick around more. Retention takes time. And it takes up to 8 weeks to really know how many people you keep in the app. But yeah, we want to experiment more. We still have a lot of features in the backlog, things we want to do, hundreds of them. And you do your full redesign, and you're super happy with the new experience, and people ask for, hey, I still can't delete a notebook, or I still can't delete a tag, and you have all those features that you want to do, you don't have enough time to do all these things. So we want more time to do more features. We want more time to do more experimentation. So split testing, doing not only one version of one feature, but I don't know, a dozen versions of the feature, and kind of select using some kind of a natural selection of your best feature. Takes time. You need more engineering time. You need more design. So yeah, we're opening a new team in Lyon, and it's going to be Android development team, and we want to do it to experiment more. So we are going to do more split testing in the future, more phase rollouts, and experimenting is really the best way to go if you want the best design that fits your users. And we are recruiting, so if you are Android lead, QA, if you are interested in a project which is not in Paris, it's in Lyon, just ping me and I'll be happy to get in touch with you. That's it. Thank you. So do you have any question about redesigning or things you want to ask? If you have an app and you wonder how to do it.
No questions?
Hello, thanks for the presentation. You said you have more than 200 feature pending. How do you manage to invent, to have the idea of new features? All your employees can submit a feature, or how does it work?
So there are two approaches. First off, you need to define the problems, and we actually define in the development team the new features. So usually my role as PM is give enough visibility on what people do, and then with engineering and design, we define the features. So, and we can experiment. So most of the time, we just select as a team the best feature we want to experiment, and then we go ahead and we just develop it. So yeah, the team defines the solution, and I help them defining the problem. Anybody else? Over there.
I imagine that going for complete redesign might be quite a challenge and, well, stressful as well. How do you manage can you just briefly describe the process of going for complete change? Do you do it as a gradual replacement of features and integrating perhaps the last version of the app with I mean, how do you do this? If you can just tell your story, how can you completely change the app within, let's say, time frame? Do you maintain two versions of the same app at the same time, or do you just gradually redesign it? Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so yeah, it's so redesign is complex because you move every part, and you can't really deliver one part with a new style or one new piece, and the rest is some kind of a Frankenstein kind of app. So you need to spend time to do all at once and then ship all at once. And that's why we use the phase rollout, because you can keep the old one still on the market. If you have bugs, you can still fix it and just push your update on the market. But you need to decide all the design all at once. So you're going to define all the new user flow, all the new interaction design all at once, develop all at once, and launch all at once. So we don't do it piece by piece. It doesn't work. And using this kind of phase rollout, we can do one project on standby and the other one where you focus everyone in the team on. Anybody else? Okay, so just come to see me if you want. I'm at the booth and happy to discuss anything. Thank you.
Thank you.